Molly, if you were to look at your body of work, what work would you like to see adapted or grow into another format?
That's a fun question, and there's not a writer in the world that hasn't spent a lot of time casting their book with the latest heartthrobs.
Casting. Let's hear the casting.
But the series that I had mentioned before, the Burn Down the Night series, the whole book, the hero and the heroine don't meet until the end of the book, and so it's almost the entire relationship is over a phone. And there's a wider world. There's a bit of danger. Someone's on the run. But it was very much this sort of genre blending, women's fiction, romance series that I again. And it's funny, like romance authors, it feels like we've been siloed in this idea that you talk about, where how have producers not been at this convention? It really is remarkable because it's such a popular genre. Like we're seeing it happen now. I think there's legs there, real legs.
And it's funny you should mention that. Right where we are, which is one of our standing sets, we filmed Barbara Hanet's Dream Date with Molly Cooper, and that is where someone in our adaptation, a high-end financier from London swaps house with a Connecticut farmhouse, with a girl who has a Connecticut farmhouse, and they fall in love with each other while they're in each other's
house,
spaces, which broke all of the rom-com script guidelines, which is they must meet in the first 3 pages. There must have some kind of spark, and then we must go on from there. They don't even meet. I believe they met page 35. Our scripts tend to be somewhere between 90 and 95 pages. So again, to kind of be meeting a third of the way into the script was like, we've never heard of anything like that. So it does sound like there could be opportunities. And don't let anyone tell you that can't be adapted in a script because they're not even in the same room. We just did really beautiful You Got Mail sort of correspondence, texting. And then we did a funny thing that he actually goes back to London and knocks on the door, but she's all a bit of a mess. And so then he takes on another persona because he doesn't want to tell her. A twist. He doesn't want to tell her. And then, of course, when he finally does, then she feels like he has duped her. So all is almost lost. And then there's a scene actually that plays out here where they come together.
Good grovel.
Good grovel.
Yeah, right.
And again, we played with the fact that they weren't in the same room, whereas the classic, like I'm calling you and then open the door and he's there. So it was a very nice HEA for sure. And Farah, what do you think?
So I think Accidentally Engaged would be a great movie, but the problem with it is it's mostly about bread and cooking.
Bread. It's complicated. That's the one with which was Meryl Streep and Alec Baldwin, and she ran the bakery. I mean, I think that baking and the tactileness. I mean, you think about that scene in Ghost, where can you imagine reading that on the page? It's like, and they throw a pot together. I'm sure it's bread. It's like there's some urging and some movement.
I love it. But specifically this book, To Hear in Bloom, which is my next release, I pitched it to the publishers with the comps of Schitt's Creek and Netflix's Big Flower Fight, because I was inspired by Schitt's Creek, which is like city people moving to a small rural town.
We call it fish out of water in our world.
So I was very inspired by the really, really urban, high fashion city people in this completely small town. So this book was very much inspired as a more visual story. Giant flat floral sculptures was my inspiration. So I think that one would be the one that I want to see on screen, because bread smells really good, but flowers are really pretty to look at.
So you got some great what we call comps in there when they say this meets that, and
exactly,
that, which is always very, very helpful.
Yeah.
Some purists and especially big Hollywood agencies tend to say that that's not a great way. It feels a little pedantic, but I always thought you get it when you say this.
We use comps in publishing too.
Oh,
That's how you get all the
absolutely. Hot or not? Alpha heroines.
Heroines.
Hot.
Yeah.
Hot. Bad boys.
Oh wait, Tom Hardy.
Well, I kind of think always hot, but Farah, I think you might have to say not.
Bad boys are usually not nice people, so I'm going to say no. I suppose it depends on your definition of bad boy, but for the most part, when I read a book about a bad boy, I don't like the guy, because he's usually nice to the heroine and terrible to
To
everybody
other
else.
people, yeah.
Clinch covers. Not hot. Wow.
I like Clinch covers.
I'm a little over them.
All of my covers are all illustrated, and their people aren't even near each other. So I'm looking forward to a good
several-
old-fashioned Clinch.
yeah.
I know.
Friends to lovers.
I've never liked it.
No Harry Met Sally for you?
I mean, sure, everybody likes Harry Met Sally, but I find it like a romance. It's such a big leap. They never work for me.
I've got one coming out in March, so we'll see what
I'll read it. I'll change my mind.
Grand gestures. Ambivalence. Okay. You went hot, Molly. You went hot.
When they're done well, it is swoony, and your heart's in your throat, and you're so excited. And when they're done poorly, you're just so embarrassed for everybody involved. So that's a quality issue.
I think it needs to be relative to whatever the conflict in the book is. I mean, I can go on to a craft thing, but oftentimes I feel like if the relationship needs a grand gesture, then it wasn't going to go anywhere anyway.
Happy for now.
Oh yeah.
May-December romances.
I'm really liking the trend that's like older women, younger men. That's fun. The really older men, younger women is not fun.
I mean, within reason, like I think anything under 7 years, maybe even 10 years, if they're not super old, is fine. But once you get more than that, no.
Slow burn. Hot, and I would say from the film and television side, from Ross and Rachel all the way down, if you don't maintain a slow burn, you crash and burn. All right, cinnamon roll hero.
I like the bad boy. I'm sorry. This is where we.
I like the cinnamon roll.
Pregnant heroines.
I mean, I've been pregnant. That's not hot.
I like how it ups the stakes. Like there's a real drama and tension there can be around. But no, you're right. I mean, like truly.
Truly, I was just crabby when I was pregnant. I wasn't looking for romance.
Workplace romances.
Oh, workplace.
Never.
Not letting the reader past the bedroom door.
Well, that depends on the book.
Yeah. See, I write closed door, and I don't know if.
And I've read a lot of open door romances with terrible sex scenes.
Yeah, I'm gonna put right in the middle. Yeah. It really depends.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Right in the middle.
Cliffhangers.
Cliffhangers. No.
I love a cliffhanger. I love it.
Finish
All
the
day
book.
long. No,
My
tease
thoughts
it
are
out.
you didn't finish writing that book. Finish it.
Make me gasp and like clutch the book to my chest and go, oh, good job. I mean, a terrible cliffhanger is terrible, but a good cliffhanger. Oh, I love it.